All right, we're recording. Hello, everyone. This is kind of like a combo team call, and I love team calls because I get to know new people, new faces. I love hearing stories, and we're going to talk about a couple different things tonight. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about the topics and why I decided to have Siobhan speak on this call tonight. And then, she's a rock star. I met her. It was actually really crazy. So I went to the Super Saturday, and it's great because I got to see Candace meet one of her new diamonds. And I wasn't ever expecting to meet anyone from, within Haley's team. That was for sure, let alone Siobhan. And I knew who she was. She's like, wait, you know who I am? And I noticed her because she was crushing it on the Success Club leaderboard. It doesn't matter what coach shares their leaderboard. I'm always looking at the first, 5 to 10 girls crushing it. I was like, who's this girl? So I had been watching her on Instagram, and then poof, all of a sudden she just ends up saying hello to me in Super Saturday. It was the most wild thing ever. And so I told her, I said, I'd love, we're whispering in the back of Super Saturday, and I'm going, I'd love to have you on my team call. We're being so rude at the event. And so here we are. So she's going to share a little bit about her story and, what she does to rock this. And she's really nervous. She feels like she's going to barf, but she crushes it on Instagram stories every day. So I know she's going to be amazing. And we've been chatting back and forth, and I just relate to her so much as her kids are yelling in the background. I'm like, yep, that's our life, as my toddler's screaming in the kitchen right now with my husband. And then the other piece of what I really wanted to bring this together is talking a little bit about income and numbers. And I know you guys are big fans of that. Hi, Patrick. I just saw Patrick over there. Because Haley isn't afraid to talk about it either, because it is extremely life-changing. So I popped in my leader page this week, and I was like, hey, let's all share some of our income progressions. And a lot of coaches, including Siobhan, had never done it before. And so they start, crunching some numbers, and they start realizing, like, wow, I'm actually doing this. And I actually noticed a pattern. Siobhan has only been doing this not even a year, so she's kind of excluded from this category because she's that much of a rock star. But I started to notice this thing happened around 1 year and 2 years especially. So after Siobhan talks about all her awesomeness today, I want to tie it back together so that you guys can really start to think about this long game vision of what you're working towards. Because you might feel like you're in the trenches right now. Maybe you just feel like you're spinning your wheels. Maybe you're crushing it like Siobhan. I don't know where you're at, but I think having that 2-year vision and having just a good grasp on what's capable in the first year or two is important. And I saw a really interesting trend. So I have a whole bunch of income progressions with everyone on my team's permission, and Siobhan has hers, and then Haley's going to talk a little bit about hers too. So I always like to do a little bit of shout out recognition, kick things off in a fun way for my team. Haley, you and your team are welcome to do this too. So do you guys have any rank advancements or shout outs that you guys want to do for anyone on your team? Anyone can unmute themselves. And Haley too, I don't know if you have a shout out. Everyone's like, I'm scared. Colleen's scary. No, just kidding.
Well, I know I have people about to be Emerald. Am I unmuted right now?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I hear you.
I know Taryn's on here right now. Bryn. Hey, girl, I see you with your cute little Adidas jacket. She's about to be Emerald on brand new on Thursday. If anybody else has any more, I have to think right now because I wasn't planning on shouting anybody.
That's impressive. I'm not gonna lie, because I just was throwing that at you. So emeralds are a huge deal, guys. They're a huge deal because it's the foundation of this business. It's where you start, and then you just continue to teach your people how to also achieve emeralds. So high five to all the newbies crushing it with emerald. I'll give my coach, she's not on here, but her name's Colleen, ironically. And she's halfway to emerald, and I know she's going to be at emerald by next week. So was there anyone else? Did I cut anyone off?
Hi, my girl. Sorry, my girl Melissa White right there. Hey, girl, you're going to be emerald on Thursday too. Brand new. Proud of you.
Yes. Emerald feels good. You get shout outs, get recognition, and you start to really, so emerald is perfect, guys, because when you start to see these income progressions, guess who started at emerald? All those people. So high five. Ashley, if you didn't hear me, I said hi. All right. So Siobhan, I would love for her to share her story because I know pieces of it, but I know that I'm being so nosy and I want to know everything about her. So, Siobhan, I'm going to let you unmute yourself and just tell us a little bit about you, what attracted you to coaching, what made you go for it. And then when you're done, I'll take it over and we'll go to the next thing.
Okay, sounds good. Hi, everybody. I'm Siobhan Little, and my voice is probably going to sound shaky because I'm like freaking out right now, but I love seeing all these welcoming smiley faces. So thank you guys for having me. And I just want to kind of go back like 10 years. And I have, for as long as I can remember, emotional eating, comfort eating, it's just been my thing. And it was pretty manageable like in high school and stuff because I was running cross country and doing like 6 miles a day. So my weight never crept up to where I noticed like it was a problem. And it wasn't until around 2011, I was in my early 20s. I won't get too much into this because it'll make me emotional, but my sister, I'm already going to get emotional. My sister Jennifer was born with Cornelia de Lange syndrome, and it's super rare. You guys probably haven't heard of it, but very severely mentally handicapped. And just imagine, like as an adult, she probably functioned at about a 12 to 15 month old. And in 2011, she passed away. And that is when I was in a very dark place, and I started turning to food more than ever. That was like my addiction. Not alcohol, not drugs, it was food. I don't know, I would eat for comfort, and I would do it in private. And for the next 8-ish years, that was my coping mechanism. So that became my new normal. And 2012, my husband and I got married. He joined the Air Force. And things got even more crazy after that because I all of a sudden like was kind of ripped out of Jacksonville, my home where I was born and raised, all my family, all my friends, like uprooted to, being newly married. I was in a new town. I was doing social work, which is very stressful in itself. Again, turning to food for comfort. Fast forward to 2014, I got pregnant with Logan. We moved to Nebraska, and that's when things really started going downhill for me. I felt just so alone. I was a new mom. I became a stay-at-home mom at that time. 3 months after Logan was born, Chris went on his first deployment. After that, it was like a revolving door of deployments, like 3 months home, 3 or 4 months gone, 3 months home, 3 or 4 months gone. So for the first like 2.5 years of Logan's life, like half the time I was solo parenting by myself. No, my family all lived in Florida. I was in Nebraska. I had a good network of friends, but nobody you can call up when your kid's throwing up in the middle of the night to like come help you. So deployments was when I really, I don't know, it's embarrassing, like how much I turned to food for comfort. And that's when I really got in the cycle of all the like fad diets out there, because at this point my normal range from like 2011 until last year was like the 180s to the 200s. And I would do one fad diet after another, like you name it, I've done it, like Whole30, calorie counting, keto, everything out there, diet pills. And I would gain and lose the same 20 pounds over and over again, and keep up with the stress eating, of course, too. And so that went on for a while. And then I got pregnant with Rowan, my second child. And at that point, I started the pregnancy off at 190 pounds, not healthy, fueling my body with garbage. And that pregnancy, it was awful. I had a ton of health complications. I was having to be monitored in the office like twice a week with the NST machine. I ended up having to have a C-section because of it. And you would think that would have been like a wake-up call for me to like, okay, it's time to take care of this. But no, it wasn't. So for that whole first year of Rowan's life, again, Chris was gone, like half of it. So I was like drowning. I was trying to figure out how to become a mom of two, solo parenting half the time. I just I was just trying to survive. So the last thing on my mind was getting myself healthy, when really that should have been the first thing on my mind to help with everything. So then we moved to Texas, and this is like when I hit my lowest of lows. Chris, it's a good thing because he switched aircrafts, and now he's doing RPA, which is like drone piloting. And we made the switch for our family life because I couldn't keep up with that revolving door of him home, not home. I was like, he loves the Air Force. He wants to make this like a long-term thing. So we had to figure out a different route to go. So that was, we moved to Texas for 5 months for him to do his RPA training. And we just brought our essentials. The kids and I weren't even supposed to go, but I'm like, we're going. So we packed up our essentials, lived in this little apartment in Texas, and I had nobody. I didn't have my Nebraska network that I had that past 4 years. My family is still in Florida. We were living in this little apartment. I had 2 little kids. Chris was crazy busy with training for the new aircraft. And as always, turning to food for comfort, I got back up to at this point, I still hadn't lost my pregnancy weight from Rowan. I went in for my yearly exam. Rowan was 14 months old. I was weighing 200 pounds. And the doctor gave me like a very, very stern talking to about my health and my weight. And nobody, all these 10 years, nobody has ever once mentioned my weight to me. It's weird. It just wasn't a thing, or nobody brought it up. So to hear this for the first time, really, it was hard. And she was not nice about it. I left in tears. And that same day, my friend Ashley Williams, who we connected in Nebraska, her husband and Chris, they went on their first deployment together, and we became deployment buddies, and we're friends ever since. She was so nice, just texting me how's Texas going, checking in. I'm like, it sucks. I hate it here. I have no friends. And then I told her, and I just left the doctor, and I told her everything the doctor said, and I was so upset. And I didn't even know she was a Beachbody coach. And she was like, hey, well, I just signed up as a coach for a discount on products, yada, yada. There's this new program that just came out last week. It's called To Be Mindset. She told me about it. She's like, you should try it. So I was so skeptical, but I'm like, here I am. I feel like this is a sign. The day that I've hit rock bottom of just don't know where to go from here. Here's my friend offering me a solution. So I was super skeptical, but I signed up that day. And mind you, I got just To Be Mindset, no workouts, no shakes. So I always tell my coaches, don't discount the people who don't get a challenge pack, because, you never know what might happen. But I got just To Be Mindset, and I was like, let me just give this a shot. I had tried everything out there. So I was like, this is going to be no different, but whatever, I'll try it. I'm desperate. So I didn't even tell anybody I was doing it, friends or family or anything, because I didn't want people to see me fail again at another diet. So 3 months later, I was 30 pounds down, and I knew shortly into doing 2B, within a few weeks, I was like, there's something different about this. And I could see myself doing it long-term because I was not restricting myself ever of anything. And I was eating a lot of food, and I felt, I was just like, I can keep this up. So 3 months later, I was down 30 pounds. And just for reference, my husband had never even seen me at that weight. We've been together 9 years. So he had never even seen me looking like this before. And he's so sweet. He's always loved me. But I was feeling amazing. And I posted a picture. Chris took the snapshot of Logan on my back. I was giving him a piggyback ride, and he just did a quick little snap. And I was like, oh my gosh, I look good. I was like, I'm going to post that on, back then I didn't do Instagram much. I was like, I'm going to post it on Facebook. And I rarely posted pictures of myself ever. It was always of my kids. And if it was a picture of me, it was my kids and husband with me, selfie to where my body wasn't seen, because I didn't want people to see how far I had let myself go. So when I posted that picture, these people who have known me this past 10 years, not even just family, but all over, all my military friends, my back home friends, they're all like, you look amazing. What are you doing? And the comments just started coming in. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So I was, probably just going to send them all to Ashley, be like, hey, hook them up with 2B. But Ashley encouraged me. She's like, no, you should sign up as a coach and just sign them up under yourself. And that terrified me because I'm just like a little bit of an introverted, shy person. So the thought, like before all this, my Instagram was on lockdown. I had 150 people on there and I knew all of them. I rarely posted. And if I did, it was mainly of my kids. So the thought of like, because I saw what Ashley was doing with the coaching and we had talked about it. I'm like, no, there's no way I could do that. But anyway, she encouraged me and I was like very skeptical. But then I just started thinking how much 2B had changed my life in just those 3 months. I was like, how can I not share this with other people? Even if I just helped a couple people the way that this has helped me, then that would make it all worth it. So I was like, all right, sign me up. So we did it and here I am.
You're amazing.
Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous.
You don't seem nervous at all. So I just want you to know that you're doing amazing. Okay. So story is so inspiring. And like my favorite part of stories is when people are like, okay, I know this is out of my comfort zone, but I'm going to do it, And I feel like if there's anyone listening and you need that extra nudge, you just learn to dance with fear. That's like the best thing I could say. I told Siobhan that I wouldn't just throw her to the wolves and make her talk the whole time. So I'm going to help her out a little bit here. But when I think of what is making her successful, is that correct English? It's that she was facing that fear and just willing to try it. And I love that coaching has no risk. Like, okay, so what if she showed up and what if things didn't work out? But obviously they did. It's not like you're ever failing. The only time that you're ever going to fail, guys, is if you don't show up and try. So for every coach that says that they're afraid to fail, I always let them know, well, by sitting there and doing nothing is not going to help you. So I think it's so fabulous that you decided to go for it. And what a funny little side thing that you just bought 2B, right? You never know. Like you guys could sign up the next Siobhan with Ultimate Portion Fix tomorrow. And you're just like, ugh, So, all right. So let's talk about when you first signed up and you were open-minded to starting coaching. I don't exactly know what the getting started right process was for you, if you talked to Ashley or Haley or whoever it was, but how do you feel like you just got things going right away? How did you start hitting Success Club? Maybe walk us through a little bit of that.
Okay, so it's funny. I was actually just telling Haley yesterday. I was like, it's so funny because I didn't even know what Success Club was. And I remember Haley like shouted me out for Success Club 10. I'm like, what is that? Like, I didn't even know. I didn't know about the rank advancements. I didn't know about all the trainings. I just basically knew that I was like supposed to share my stuff on social media. So that is what I did. And for me, that was the easy part because I was so, and still am, obsessed with 2B mindset. So that just kind of came naturally to me because I was comfortable with it. I wanted to shout it from the rooftops. I wanted people to do it with me. And of course I had like questions as I was going, like to Ashley, like, how do I do share a cart? How do I do this? Blah, blah, blah. And she encouraged me to like present the challenge pack opportunities to people for Success Club. But that was like all over my head. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I think at the beginning, I kind of tuned out everything and just focused on showing up every day. And of course, continuing my journey with 2B because that was still the start of it for me. Like I've since lost like 25 more pounds since then. So still showing up every week and I would post everything. Like I was posting like my scale and my stories of like hitting a new weight bracket of like the 150s that I hadn't seen since high school. Just like every little victory, every new size, every like I just felt like the more I shared it and the more I talked about it, the more people got excited about it and the more intrigued. So I just kind of like to encourage my new coaches, like, I don't know, just to share, like keep it simple at first and just share your journey and your passion for it and people will see your excitement for it. And that is going to make them want to join you. And I feel like I feel like it's a little overwhelming at first with coaching when you start doing all the trainings and everything. So I just like to start off with just focusing on sharing why you love what you're doing. And of course, being proof of the product definitely has helped me.
So Keith mentored me back in the day, which is obviously Haley's coach. And he always said that we get paid to be professional storytellers. And if there's anyone that's really good at that, it's Siobhan. And I watch her stories every day. And, you know, sometimes when you're a coach for 6 years, you like forget how to do this job in a simple way because my job is more complex with the team. And so it's so cool to watch Siobhan. I always want to say your name different. Share just every single day. I see her talking about 2B mindset. I see her showing her meals. I see her showing her family. She does a really good job of being that professional storyteller. So if you're going to take any tips, follow her on Instagram. She gives me ideas all the time. Now she's like, no. All right. So let's talk a little bit about your inviting and how you go about doing that. I'm sure you have some things you want to share about that.
Yes. So first of all, I really focus on like my content, what I'm putting out there to attract people to me. Because I feel like anybody and I learned this from Haley, if they're in your place of business, like following you, that's like fair game. They're there for a reason. So I really, instead of going out and finding randoms, I like to focus on the people on my page, the people watching my stories, the people liking my stuff, the people commenting on my stuff. And that all comes from, first of all, putting good content out there, which has been like a work in progress for me, but I feel like I'm getting good at it now. So my first thing I do is I try to get scroll stopping pictures. And a tip of mine is that I want to share with you guys on the weekend. You know, I don't look like hair and makeup every day, but on the weekends when I'm feeling good and we're going out and doing stuff, I get my husband out there with the camera and I put on a few different outfits. I put my hair up, I put my hair down, put lipstick, whatever. And I get a few shots and then I use them for the week. So that's kind of like a stress reliever for me for every day, not having to like, oh my gosh, what picture am I going to post today? I kind of have a little stockpile. So that's my first step, is getting a good picture. So then they'll stop and read what I have to say. So when I track people to my page, I want to get new followers, and every single new follower I get, I go to their page, I check them out. I see if they're a coach, I don't message them. I see if they're following anybody that I know within, team determination, I don't message them. But if it just looks like a normal person, I message them, every single one, and I say, hi, I say their name. Thanks so much for the follow. I really appreciate the support. Are you doing 2B mindset too? And I keep it as simple as that. And then it just opens up the conversation about it. And it's either like a, what's that? Or no, I'm not. Or yes, I am. And then we just go back and forth from there. And I basically just tell them like, oh, I find that's how most people find my page, because 2B mindset is my passion. And now I'm a certified mentor helping others on their own journey. I would love to tell you more about it because it has changed my life and helped me lose over 50 pounds. And 9 times out of 10, if they write me back, they want to know more about it. And I was going to say something else, but now I forget. But that just kind of is my segue to opening up the conversation. And if it's a slow week with followers, then I know I need to get some better content out there so I can have more people to message. So, and then if I'm really desperate, I start looking at, this is another new trick of mine. When I post a story, like 5 minutes later, I go swipe up and I see who are like the people watching it. Because if somebody is watching your story within the first 5 minutes you're posting it, they care what you're putting out there because they see you post something and they click on it immediately. So recently I've been doing that, and that has worked in my favor too. Yes.
I thought I was unmuted there. Sorry. Okay, so I'm creeping on your Instagram right now. I could just look at your photos all day. You're very talented. So go hubby, go Siobhan. I think it's so cute.
I'll give you a tip.
Yes.
If you have portrait mode on your iPhone, I use portrait mode. It works. It makes it look like nice and crisp and clear. And a filter.
Yes. I feel like when you have some time to kill, our next call, you should like do some social media, photography tips or something. I mean, this is a really good profile for someone who hasn't even been a coach for a year. So kudos to you for that. So let's kind of recap what she just said, guys. well, first you have to have confidence in yourself and what you're going to be sharing, right? I feel like if you don't love what you're doing every single day with your health and fitness and nutrition, then it's going to be extremely uncomfortable and unauthentic for you to be sharing that. Like, don't just feel like you have to share something because you're a coach. You have to love it. You have to find your groove with that. So that's obvious. And then once you do, start to master social media a little bit. This is a skill, obviously, because Siobhan has done it, that you can sharpen. But when I go to her profile, it's very obvious what her brand is. I know that she crushes the food game. I know that she's a family member. I know that she's into fitness. I think it's awesome that she shares her shake. Like, I wish that I could show you the picture I'm looking at, but husband definitely took this picture. It's so cute. She's holding her shake, but it's just an attractive picture. It's an attractive way to talk about our superfoods. She has before and afters on there. Like, she has the total package. So I think that before you even really start to dive into invites and things like that, make sure that your social media and your content is on point, because you could do all the invites in the world, but when someone goes to your profile, what are they seeing? What are they getting? What's exciting? What is your passion? I love that she has Costco and Trader Joe's on there, because, guys, what do we get asked as health coaches the most? What do you eat? What is that? So that's probably a huge win for you. So that was kind of my recap for that. Siobhan, what else did I ask you to talk about? I feel like it was, what did you do in the beginning, your story, inviting?
Saying going forward, like, what are the things I do to be successful? And one thing I really wanted to touch on was, okay, so like my first couple months, I was terrified. It was like so scary for me, but I was just trying to like show up every day. I did not talk in my stories. I got in my stories, but it was more so like breakfast, lunch, dinner, here's my cute kids, whatever. But I wasn't talking. And it wasn't until I really didn't get serious with the business till like November-ish, when Haley started that Diamond for New Year's group. That's when I really started learning about the rank. So I started coaching in August. Those first couple of months were really me just like hitting my warm market, and don't be afraid. Like, my first couple customers were family members, and I was just like, hey, you want to do this with me? And they saw it changing my life. So it was an easy yes. They're like, sure, sign me up. But yeah, those first few months were me just sharing and like really using up my warm market. And then Haley started the Diamond for New Year's group, and I really started learning about rank advancement and the importance of that when it came to like income and stuff. And I'll never forget, I had a one-on-one call with Haley during that group she was doing. And she told me, she's like, you have to start talking in your Instagram stories. And I was terrified. I was like, I can't do it. My sister was here for Thanksgiving, and she's just so cute and confident. And I was like, can you help me figure out how to do this? And she would like walk me through it. We were in San Francisco. She's like, just narrate your day and what we're doing. And I would sit there and like delete my stories like 20 times because they weren't perfect. And anyways, long story short, it was awful. But I knew Haley told me if I wanted to like get my outside of my warm market, they had to get to know me. And they weren't going to do that by me just being like, here's my food for the day, here's my transformation. When you want people who don't know you in real life to trust you, you have to like open up your life a little bit more. So I started talking in my Instagram stories, and it was like a slow progression, but now it's like second nature to me, and it's okay. But I will say my business really started to boom when I did that, as far as my not warm market goes. Like, people who I did not know started messaging me and interacting with me, and they, think we're like friends. And some of my best clients and now coaches, rockstar coaches, I have never met before. And it's because we connected on Instagram and became like real life friends. So if I could have any piece of advice for anybody, is show as much as you can, like make it your own little reality TV show in your Instagram stories, because that is how people are going to fall in love with you. They're not coming, anybody can just go order online and get Beachbody on Demand or whatever, but they want you as their coach because they're falling in love with you because they're sitting here watching you every day, and I don't know, you're just going to find your people that way. And I have found my best coaches that way. So I definitely recommend just doing it if you're not. And there was something else I wanted to say. Also just like showing up every single day. I have not shown up since August 15th when I started this. And I have bad days. I have days where I do not want any part of social media because it's not natural 365 days of the year to be like, yay, let's go talk on Instagram. No, but no matter what, I show up. And I think that has been huge for me because when I have people who have like best friends of mine who have been watching me do this since August, who just signed up with me like January, February. It takes people time, and when they are ready, and not even just with real life friends, but like Instagram friends, when these people who are watching you are ready, they're going to come to you because they see you show up day in and day out. And I think the power of really my three secret weapons are I'm consistent, I'm super passionate about TV mindset, and I'm proof of the product. So that's my secret weapons.
I love it. Something I just thought of when I was looking at, again, like your Instagram is just so beautiful and really impressive. And I just know that you're committed by the amount of time. Like obviously those photos take you some time. You're like, all right, hubby, we're going to go do this. So if you're out there trying to build your business, specifically Instagram, because it's very photo video based, make sure you guys are making the time. You can't say I don't have the time. For me, if I don't, same exact thing as Siobhan, if I don't have those stockpiled photos, like yesterday I was in a pinch. I've been doing some crazy behind the scenes work. I can't talk. And I was like, shit, I need a picture. And this is what I looked like. And I was like, okay, that's not really what I want to post right now. So I went back and I found a picture of me on the cruise. I'm like, thank God I had some pictures stockpiled and I was able to talk about coaching. And I actually have 4 people interested in coaching because I went back and I grabbed something. I made a good post. And so I know that Siobhan is bringing people in. And when she has these conversations with them and when she invites them, they know that she's a committed coach. And it totally shows just from her profile. So don't be afraid to get extra committed. Don't smell like a Beachbody coach. That's what someone just said in the comments. I love it. Yes, I don't think that you smell like a Beachbody coach at all. Like I look at that and I'm like, she's a foodie. Like, you know, those people that are out there like sharing like all those awesome like vegan recipes and stuff. I'm like, she would be like a foodie blogger or something. So it's beautiful. So what would you say to someone who isn't afraid to either talk on their stories, or what would you say to someone that's afraid to just go for it and start talking to people and inviting?
I'll guarantee you there's nobody more afraid than I was. Like literally, just like I was for this call, I get like physically ill when I am like stressed out and nervous. Like I've been on the toilet all day today, TMI. But like there was nothing, I don't know. Basically, it's good that Haley, pushed me to do it. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have ever. But I will say the first couple weeks were difficult, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And now it's literally second nature to me. And just like doing calls like this, like, yes, this is hard, but I know the more I do it, the better I'm going to get at it. So I think that's with anything, just getting out of my comfort zone and taking the plunge to do it. It's scary, and I just say you got to go for it, and you're not going to regret it because it's going to open up your, I don't know, what do you call a non-warm market? Cold market?
Yep.
Cold. It's going to open up your cold market so much more, and people are going to get to know you, and that's how you're going to find your people. Like some of the people I have found on Instagram now are some of my best friends, and it's so weird. But I just really encourage you to, I know it's scary, but just take the plunge and do it. And you're going to see your business, the more you do it, the more you share your life, the more you get on there, the more I feel like your network is going to expand. So I think the more, the better. The days that I'm like super active on my stories, I can tell a difference from the days that I just do boomerangs and photos. So I try to do it every day, but sometimes life happens, but I still show up. even if I'm not talking in my stories. So yes, I encourage everybody to just do it. It sucks at first, but it will get better.
So true. I know that all too well. Even, I mean, again, been a coach 6 years. Things have changed a lot in 6 years, guys. I have to be a new coach all over again all the time. I'm sure Haley will say the same thing. It's just kind of like when you get frustrated, when you hit a wall, maybe you're hitting a wall right now, you say, what do I do? And just figure out how you're going to respond to that. There was a thought that I was going to say. Oh, okay. So let's do your income. So I have to share my screen. Oh, I was going to ask you, because maybe there's, I don't know, I see some kids popping around on here. What do you say to like someone who's at home with their kids? Do you have any tips for like how you're still making things happen? I feel like this needs a whole team call on itself, because being a stay-at-home mom and working this is not easy, but time management tips maybe?
Yes. Okay. So you guys might not like what I have to say, but I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, and for 30 minutes, I drink my I do my morning devotion, and I start clearing out my inbox. You know, some days there's a lot, some days it's a couple. Then I have a Zoom, and this is what makes me get out of bed. I have a Zoom link posted on my accountability group page for 5 a.m. Monday through Friday, whoever wants to join me to work out. So I have to wake up to start the Zoom link. So at 5 a.m., we press play, we work out. And that's good for my stories too, because every day in my stories, Monday through Friday, I'm showing a boomerang of who shows up to work out with me. And then I show a move of the day right after. So we do my workout, like 20-minute, I'm doing Transform 20. And then, so that ends at like 5:20. So then I put up my boomerang, my moves of the day, and then finish clearing out my messages, get in my accountability group. That's another thing. I'm like very, very, very active in my accountability group. That and like my content are what I spend the most time on. And all of my coaches that I have right now have come from girls in my group who have gotten results and are now coaching. So I find it very important to like, you know, help the people that you're signing up. Anyways, so I wake up, do that, get up my stories, finish clearing out my inbox. So then that right there from 4:30 to 6 a.m., I consider that work time, even with a workout, because that is part of my job, is doing my workout. So from 4:30 to 6, I have that to do all of that. And then I go shower and get ready for the day. Most days I do like to, you know, put on hair and makeup because I feel better and feel good when I do. So from 6 to 6:30, I do that. And then my kids wake up at 6:30. And then after that, it's like literally pockets of time, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, until Rowan's nap time. And Rowan naps for 2 hours every day. I would say, except for maybe one day a week, every day of the week, I work during nap time, those 2 hours. So that's like hour and a half in the morning, minus my workout, 2 hours during nap time, plus pockets of time here and there. Logan goes to school Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I know I definitely have solid nap time during those times. But even when Logan is home, I make him do rest time when Rowan's napping so that I can have that work time. And then again in the afternoon, pockets of time. Saturday and Sundays, I really do. I work during that time, but I unplug for the most part. I put snapshots of what I'm doing with my family, but I don't work as hard Saturdays, Sundays, because that's family time, but I still show up. And then in the evenings, Chris knows. Chris is super supportive and so great with all this. He knows like an hour in the evening, I spend like another hour-ish working. So I put a good amount of time into this. And a lot of that is like planning out the check-ins for my accountability group. Like, what's the post going to be? It's being active in my accountability group, responding to people's questions, to their victories, to their struggles. It's connecting with people on social media, like the new follows or comments or all of those. So when you think of all these things, like it takes up a lot of time. So you really have to, it was a struggle. It still is a struggle for me. But this system's kind of working. But Rowan starts preschool in the fall, 3 mornings a week for 3 hours, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I'm going to make those my designated work times in addition to nap time too. And I think I just know it's a tough season right now with the little ones, but I know it's not always going to be like this. And I just can't imagine when they're in school, like 8 to 3, both of them, I'm going to be having a lot of work time.
You're going to be twiddling your thumbs. No, I'm just kidding.
I know, right? But no, I think I put a lot of work into it, and it's important to me. So I don't watch Netflix anymore like I used to. Like I used to watch Netflix every day during nap time. Now I work, So I cut out those type of not luxuries, activities. I don't know.
No, those totally are luxuries wait, were you talking, Haley?
I was just going to say, when her kids are in school, she'll be a freaking top 10. No big deal.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't hear you. Sorry. I was like, I think Haley is saying something over there. So two things I wanted to say that she talked about. Do you guys message people when they follow you? Like, hey, thanks for following me. Thank you. That is huge. So I'm in this big uphill push right now. It's a 30, 60, 90-day delay in this business. The work you put in 30 days ago is probably showing up right now. So if you guys have any type of goal, know that you're going to dig your heels in, and you're going to just be building up to this mountain that you're climbing. And I'm not saying like when 90 days comes, like, oh, it's all going to happen, but you're going to notice the momentum happening. So that's why we talk about consistency and showing up daily, because imagine, what's different? The coach that shows up once a week, twice a week, or that just showed up for 90 days? Which coach are you going to join? Who's going to make you think about a fitness journey? It's like one of the best things. I don't even know who said that to me, 30, 60, 90-day delay, but we talk about that a lot in our team. All right, let's dive into some income, because her income is awesome. Don't mind my desktop. That is full of craziness. Can you guys see that? Yeah? Okay. So when she started, it was her first month. She made $323. And like she said, she's like, what's the Success Club thing? She was just helping people. And so I think that you can see this progression easily, almost that 30, 60, 90-day delay that I was talking about. And look at how much her income is compounding. So August, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months. Usually we say like be here a year from now and you're going to be extremely wowed. She put in the work and the time and showed up like super professional. As Haley said, that $2,200, that's, I don't know what your mortgage is, but where I live, that would be a mortgage. That's someone's mortgage just from being a coach for 8 months. I mean, there's probably so many coaches on this call that are deeply inspired by these kind of numbers. How did putting this together make you feel, Siobhan?
I was shocked. I didn't realize, I mean, I knew I was making good money, but some weeks are like smaller than others. So it was awesome. And then I was like, where's this money going? No, but we do need to get like, moving to California from Nebraska has been like a huge sticker shock for us. Everything from gas to rent to my son's private school is stupid expensive. But without this, our paychecks would not cover our like way of life. I definitely would not be able to be I definitely would not be able to send Logan to private school right now, which is like the big thing for us. We want to be able to do that for him. So this, it's been a huge blessing for our family, because otherwise our first couple months here in California, we literally would go a week of run out of money till the next payday. Because it's like, how is this disappearing so quick just from the basic bills and necessities? So this has definitely been a huge blessing for our family. And it's fun to see it on paper, but I never want to be like braggy about it. So
You're not bragging, I promise. If anyone's bragging on you, it's me. So don't worry. So a couple things I want to point out. So she, pulled up some of her paychecks, because I was asking her how much of this is your commissions from what you're selling, quote unquote, versus your team cycle bonus, which means it's the team that Haley's producing with Siobhan, with Ashley. It's like a team effort. And I know that Siobhan is probably doing a kick-ass job of bringing on some new coaches too. And so 1 week, $180 of it was a team cycle bonus. So how we were shouting out those emeralds in the beginning, you'll start to see that weekly residual income start to come into play when you're not selling 45 challenge packs. And so that's really important for you guys to know that this isn't just her going out there selling things. This is like, there's two pieces to the puzzle here. She's helping people get started, which is super important, building that foundation, but she's also building a team and building volume and paying this forward to other people with the business opportunity. So that's really where you start to see that compound effect happen over time, because she's not just focusing on retailing. And Haley, I know that I had asked you to kind of quickly speak on your income too. Do you want to kind of hop in there?
Yeah, so this was not planned, not one little bit. So I looked at my latest, I haven't done an income progression since like 2018. So like I need to make one immediately. I know that if I saw somebody post that on social media, that would totally attract me to them. And I know lots of coaches, the reason why they signed up with me is because of these income progression posts. And Colleen, you're the one that taught me. I told Siobhan earlier, she was really nervous to share this with everyone. I was like, your money is a direct reflection on the amount of people you help. You taught me that. So anyway, I've been doing this since 2014. I have like a picture I'm looking at right now. So 2014, I made around the last week in November was $140. Last week in November for 2015, $258, and then 2016, $816, 2017, $2,429, and then 2018 was pretty big. It was almost $5,000.
Pretty big.
It was like, that was like a weird, I was like, oh my God, that was a weird one. But now, ever since I've been doing the one-on-one calls since January, I've been making between 4 and 6. So we create leaders, and that's all that matters, is creating leaders. So like, actually, Ashley, Siobhan's coach, she spoke the other couple weeks ago on my call, and she was saying, treat everybody like Siobhan, because you don't know who's going to be your next leader. Siobhan, I think even part of your story, I think that actually, no, I think it was Ashley's story, but you just signed up with 2B Mindset. I know Ashley was for free. She bought T25 from somebody else or something like that and joined their group for free. So you do not know who's going to be your next rock star. So treat everybody like the same, So I've been just doing that and getting on calls with people in the downline that work, and it's just been fun. So that's my income progression, because I just, the biggest thing is like the whole one-on-one calls, and like if they want to take your advice and work with you and work hard with you and actually hit the goals they talk about, then the whole business is fun for everyone, because they're excited just as much as you are,
I think the best thing that Keith taught us, Haley, is that you master yourself first. Go through whatever you got to go through in your life, the ups, the downs, the craziness, the healing, whatever you got to go through. And then when you're ready, truly ready to do this, you will dive in. And once you master yourself, then you can teach someone else how to do the same. But until you're mastering self, it's really hard to create those leaders. And Keith did such a good job in his book of sharing that with all of us. And I know that's what you guys preach on your team, and it's what we preach on our team. Mm-hmm. So I just want to show you guys a couple other leaders, because although Siobhan is a super awesome rare gem, where did you find her? I want to show you guys some other people on our team. Maybe you guys know some of them. So here's Haley, and I love, Siobhan, you'd like this too, that she always has Veda on her hip when she's making a coach video, when she's doing anything at all. She'll get on a team call, Veda's on her hip, and that makes it so relatable and honest. I don't know if I could do that with Nixon, but she does it with Veda. And it is so badass to me to watch this progression happen for her over the last 4 years. And she's really starting to see that potential. And so I think that everyone's income is different, and there's no comparison. There's no judgment. Own your journey where you're at, and you get to control your future with coaching. A couple other ones, we have Krista. So you guys can take a look at hers. And so the pattern that I wanted to show you guys, and Siobhan's way ahead of the curve, is if you start to notice this year 2 and year 3, almost all of them were about $1,000 in year 2, and then they around year 3, year 3, like the first full third year, you'll start to notice that it starts to go into the $2,000. And I noticed it for everyone. So I'll show you guys another coach, Jessica. She's a full-time teacher and comes home and crushes this. I know that she gets up and she does her workouts before work too. Like it's super inspiring. Some people stay home with their kids. Some people work full-time. I know Krista is at home. I'll go back to Krista. Krista's at home with 3 kids, and one has special needs, and she's just running around like crazy, and she's crushing it, and I'm just so proud of everyone. We have Janelle. You know, her first month-ish, I believe, was like $224, and now in 2019, she's earning, again, like a mortgage, $2,200 a month. We have a coach, Natasha, who's only been a coach since April, and she's earned $3,300. Her goal is to not do this full time. She loves her CT X-ray job, and she wants to love coaching as much. But that was really life-changing for her, as her and her husband just bought a brand new RV. We have Craig, same thing. Look at that first full year, and then that second year going into the third year, it's that $2,000 mark. So guys, go all in with your efforts. And the income disclaimer, I'm not guaranteeing you or promising you anything. Beachbody doesn't, I don't. It's really up to your work ethic, diligence, and skill. We have Sarah over here. So in April 2018 is like pretty much when she really started to dive into coaching. Still, $381 is life-changing. And a year later, now she's starting to see that $1,000 mark. We have Brittany over here. Like this one's wow. Like this one is, Britt, if you're out there, I didn't see if you're on the call, but like Britt went through it. She went through life, through the ringer. I would say these 3 years, just like really difficult times. And this year, especially since the cruise, she has made the decision that this is what she's doing. And obviously that shows, right? That's a massive progression. And then we have Candace. You guys all know Candace. Candace came to me and said that this is what she wanted to do. She wanted to be home with her, wanted to live in the same place first as her husband, and then now she wants to be a free bird and travel around. And it's super inspiring to watch all of that happen. But it's really hard when you're a new coach in the beginning, in that first year or two, to see it. It's so hard to feel it and see it and think it's possible for you. So my best piece of advice for you guys are on some of the most successful teams in Beachbody. Like, use the resources that you have. Do the things that Haley says. Do the things that your coach says. And learn to believe in yourself. Because I know this isn't all about income and money, but guess what? I support my family on this income. Candace, I know, is supporting her family in a really huge way too. Did I miss anyone's? Oh, here's another coach. I love this. This is Jennifer. She's a full-time teacher. She's an orchestra teacher, music teacher, which is super cool. And that's pretty life-changing for her too. I'll show you mine. Barf. So like my first 6 months was like, $5,100, and I've earned well over $500,000 since becoming a coach. So, and that's only as of December. I haven't checked, but all right, that's enough money talk. But I'm just inspired. How do I get out of here? I don't know how to close it. This is in the way. Oh my God. Stop share. And it all starts with the things that Siobhan talked about today. Make the decision to show up, sharpen your skills on social media. Your social media is the glue to your business. And then you have to get in your inbox. Have to. So Siobhan, any closing thoughts that you want to talk about?
One last thing I'd like to encourage everybody to do is whatever the program is that you are passionate about, whether it's the containers or 2B Mindset, I think it's awesome to go ahead and get certified in that. And because you want to be the best out there, I say that in my messages too. I'm always like, I'm a 2B Mindset certified mentor. That makes me sound more professional. And I think when you're out there, like trying to figure out like who you want to go with, I don't know, you just want to set yourself apart from the rest. So I think it's worth spending the money to go get certified in the Portion Fix or 2B Mindset and market yourself that way, because it makes you seem more professional and be the master at your craft. Whatever it is you're promoting, be the best at it and know the most about it to be able to help the most people. So for me, that is 2B Mindset, because that is what changed my life. So, and if you guys don't have a program that has like changed your life yet, I think that should be your homework assignment for today is pick something, start it, and give it your all. Treat it like your job and get real results, because people aren't going to want to sign up with you if you're not proof of the product, if you're not living that lifestyle. And, you know, you got to walk the walk and talk the talk. So be the proof and be passionate about it and shout it from the rooftops how much you love it, and people will just want to know more naturally. Hopefully.
And you were so worried about doing this call. How do you feel?
I feel a little better.
A little better. Just like, I'm going to go throw up still. Well, we thank you so much. I know that it was nerve-wracking for you, but I did not bat an eye at how if you were nervous or anything. So you did so good, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
Thanks, Siobhan.
Congratulations on everything that you've accomplished. The income, your confidence, the ability to help other people. It's great. So I'll share this recording with you guys. Oh, sorry. Did you want to say something?
Oh, I was just saying thank you so much.
You're welcome. I feel like it's always delayed when I'm talking. I will share this recording with you guys. And oh wait, I want to take a selfie. A picture.
I'm adding so much of this to my story. This was such a great, I love the income progression. Thanks for sharing that, Colleen.
You're welcome. I just feel like that's my duty in this business to talk about like the potential. So
great to see.
All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Y'all are cute. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Bye, guys. Bye.